Story 1. Verbally acknowledging each other's contributions to the household is important. Thank you for cleaning up after dinner. It looks great. Thank you for taking the kids to soccer practice. Thank you for grabbing groceries. This is my favorite cheese. By recognizing each other's daily contributions, appreciation is built, and animosity is prevented. It also stops tasks from being assigned to a specific person, creating the expectation that they have to handle it indefinitely. Story 2. Relationships are not a zero-sum game. The only way to succeed is by winning together. Approach all disagreements with this mindset. Story 3. When I sense that my wife is feeling down or we are not connecting emotionally, I ask her about something she is passionate about to encourage her to talk. I also ask questions that require more than a yes or no answer. This often makes her go from sitting back with her arms folded to leaning forward and talking excitedly. People often feel closer to someone simply by having a conversation and being heard. Everyone enjoys discussing their favorite topics. If you have something difficult to discuss, wait until the person is in a good mood. Story 4. Keep a note on your phone for gift ideas. When she points out something she likes or wants to do, write it down in the note or take a picture and insert it. If you see something you think she would like, write it down. Additionally, keep her clothing and shoe sizes in the note. Learn about the concept of mental load and understand the imbalances that tend to occur. Take on more of it. Story 5. If your wife asks you if you want dessert, she wants dessert. Story 6. Be each other's biggest fan. No negative talk about one another to anyone, ever. When you constantly support each other, it fosters a strong team. Story 7. Pick the right person. Be very critical during the courting phase. Ask the tough questions and ensure you are aligned. Once you decide to commit, that critical switch needs to flip, and you should become their biggest supporter. Many couples do it the other way, being affectionate during the courting phase and then becoming critical after they commit. Story 8. You and your partner are a team working to solve your issues together. It is you two against the issue, never you against your partner. Communication is the key. Story 9. Along with the obvious importance of sharing household duties, it is essential to communicate appreciation for what your partner does. For example, whenever my wife returns from getting groceries, I go out to the car to help bring everything in and make sure I verbally express my gratitude for what she has done for our family. Story 10. My husband and I start every day with a long hug. It seemed like a big task at first, but now we go in for those hugs more than once a day, and they have helped me through some rough days. My son has watched it numerous times, and he tries to join us. Story 11. Separate blankets. We have been married for 13 years and together for 17. Sharing a blanket is an exercise in futility. Story 12. Not marriage, but a long-term relationship worked for me. I make notes in my girlfriend's contact in my phone about what she orders at certain restaurants, important things from her past, and things she has mentioned wanting for Christmas and birthdays. Story 13. When that little voice in your head says, "Don't say it," just before you are about to speak, resist the urge to respond. For example, do not ask any questions about how dinner is being prepared. Instead, be grateful that someone is making you dinner. Story 14. My brother said he finds a lot of success by doing things around the house before she can even ask. She'll say, "Can you take out the trash?" And he'll reply, "Already did it." He used to do this to my mom when we were younger as well. I don't care if it's considered a trick or not. I'm just sharing what I've heard. Story 15. Just because flowers are given, not because you're sorry or it's a holiday, but simply just because they always mean more to your significant other when there isn't a specific reason. Story 16. Don't think of it as a 50-50 relationship. Think of it as 100% from each partner, with both giving their all without the expectation of equal return. Story 17. 15 years in, choose your battles. Do not engage in arguments about things that do not matter to you. If there is a disagreement, do not focus on who is right or wrong. Instead, consider who cares most about the topic. If it's them, step aside. Story 18. During pregnancy and the first few months after childbirth, I often hear men say, "There isn't much for me to do with the child. It's all her." My perspective is that she is your responsibility during that time. Every time her belly itches, you put lotion on it, you get up and get her snacks, you rub her feet, you lift her belly to relieve pressure on her back, and you buy her comfortable clothes. When the baby is born, yes, she has to wake up to breastfeed, but you can burp the baby and change the diapers when possible. I managed to do all of this while being active duty in the military, so it frustrates me when fathers and husbands make excuses that they have to work and can't help out. Be an active parent and an engaged partner. You might find that you have a more fulfilling relationship as a result. Genuine caring is attractive. Story 19. I make the bacon. Literally. I fry enough bacon so that she can steal a couple of strips, and I can yell, "Get out of my kitchen!" before I put everything else on the plate for breakfast. She's tough the rest of the time, but my wife giggles and runs off like a child caught with her hand in the cookie jar when I'm making the sides for the pancakes and blueberry waffles, made from scratch, mind you. Story 20. Feed them or allow them to wake up before becoming too defensive in any argument. Hungry and tired individuals are not themselves, and it may not be a conflict in a normal state of mind. This applies to everyone, regardless of sexual orientation. Story 21. Do not take your complaints about that person outside of the marriage just to vent or gossip. I'm not talking about enabling abusive isolation. I'm referring to the stress and annoyance that can arise from daily living with your spouse and the desire to vent. For example, finances, schedules, and time management can be really stressful, and I might talk to family or friends about those circumstances rather than my spouse. Complaining about situations is not the same as complaining about my husband. I do not discuss my husband for the sake of venting, gossiping, or tearing him down in conversations with others. If I needed true assistance, I would seek help from a therapist. Allowing yourself to indulge in gossip and disrespect toward your spouse can quickly distort your view of them and others' perceptions as well, making it difficult to regain that respect. If my husband does something I deem unwise, I address it directly with him. We have been married for almost 20 years, and mutual respect and admiration are very important in our relationship. Story 22. When my wife gets home and wants to talk about work or a friend, I ask if she needs support or a suggestion. This changed my life. My wife decompresses after work by sharing her day. When we were dating, my instinct was to try to solve her problems, which she didn't want. After years together and many disagreements, we've both learned to ask what the other needs. And since we love each other, we're happy to provide it. Story 23. Any issue we have is caused by our old roommate. We rented out a room in our house to a friend before we decided to have kids. Anyway, the friend, let's call him Henry. He was a cool guy but a terrible roommate. Henry is long gone now, but we still blame things on him. Henry said he was going to mow the lawn. Henry left crumbs all over the counter again. And my personal favorite, I really wish Henry would stop leaving his makeup all over the bathroom counter. We laugh about it a little and then no one feels called out. It works like a charm for us. Story 24. I added replace furnace filter to my calendar as a reminder for tracking my wife's menstrual cycle. Having her favorite snack readily available has maintained a lot of peace in our home. Story 25. Small things that seem oddly important to them and silly to you should be acknowledged. When something that seems minor to them bothers you, communicate it to them. Story 26. I discovered something wonderful that works wonders. The first month after we kissed, I bought her some small gifts and made a card for our 1-month anniversary. She thought it was a little cheesy but sweet. The next month was the same. A card with heartfelt thoughts and small gifts continued each month. Often late, but I always caught up. I kept this going after we got married and had children. We recently celebrated our 103rd anniversary. I get away with absolute indulgence. She has kept all of the cards and will continue to do this forever. Story 27. Telling her, you'll never believe where I'm taking you to eat. Then, on her first guess, just say yes. Story 28. Buy her tacos and compliment her. It works. Remember, it is not you versus them. It is both of you versus the problem. You are teammates. Additionally, consider the other advice here. Story 29. Always say thank you for meals, regardless of how they turn out. You are thanking the effort, not the outcome. Rock, paper, scissors, and veto. Do not misuse or it will end poorly. If there is a favor you want done, offer rock, paper, scissors. This turns the act of the favor into a game. Before playing, your partner can veto, and you can also veto when they ask, so both of you have to pick and choose when to use this option. If rock, paper, scissors is played, it must be followed. You have to do the task. For example, if you want a drink from the kitchen and no one is getting up soon, and you lose at rock, paper, scissors, you have to get up and get your drink as soon as the game is complete. Story 30. Being a nice, respectful person sounds simple because it is. However, it can be very difficult when you have children, stress, emotions, and trauma, especially when the other person is experiencing the same challenges. If you can remain nice and respectful in difficult circumstances, you will succeed more than most. Story 31. Don't keep score and absolutely don't mention it. Don't empty the dishwasher just to gain favor. Do it because it needs to be done. Story 32. This is a genuine method that works wonders. Join Pinterest and subscribe to your significant other's profile. Then proceed to buy gifts for them that they selected years ago as their favorite items, and you will have a partner who is amazed by your gift-giving abilities. Story 33. More of an unethical cheat code, but choose battles to lose. My wife doesn't want me to ride a motorcycle. I have no interest in ever riding one, but I bring it up every now and then just so she can dismiss it. After 17 years, my wife called me out on it this spring, saying that I didn't want one anyway. Story 34. Share in her outrage. When she calls and tells you something crazy happened and she is annoyed at a person or situation, never respond with logic. Always respond with, "Are you kidding me? That person did what? I'm going to come down there myself and deal with this," or something similar that fits the situation. They don't want answers or solutions. They just want you to share in their outrage. Story 35. Tea time. You know how smokers often gather together when they smoke? It's a relaxing activity that encourages communication and opens up conversation. While smoking is harmful, you can replace it with tea time. Offer to make each other tea or coffee. Establish it as a casual ritual for relaxed conversation. Over time, you will become accustomed to comfortable communication during tea time. Plus, it serves as a thoughtful gesture that makes people feel appreciated. Story 36. You have to respect each other, which is a two-way street. The death of relationships occurs when you stop trying to understand your partner and start to feel contempt for them. Sometimes that is acceptable. You didn't need to understand a clearly abusive ex, for example. However, more often, people reach a point where they stop seeing their partner as someone they want to help, whom they have sympathy for, and who they see as a good faith actor. Instead, they begin to view them as someone to take revenge on or force into compliance. When you notice feelings of contempt, ask yourself if there is something more you can understand. Remember who this person is to you and what you love about them. Consider that they may have acted out of emotion or ignorance when they said or did something that hurt you. It's important not to be a doormat, but people often find themselves in conflicts when they could work together or understand the other person. Also, don't start off on the wrong foot. If you can never respect a woman who did or does something you disagree with, or if a woman can't respect you for something you do, it's best not to get married. Story 37. An elderly man who was married for 50 years told me to end the night with, "Thank you for being my wife." Totally works after 15 years. Story 38. Listen. It's not a cheat code, but if you pay attention and act on what you hear, you will improve both of your lives significantly. Story 39. Race the microwave. Anytime you use it, take that time to do something quick. Load the dishwasher, flip the laundry, tidy up, or prepare the garbage and recycling. You'll be surprised at what you can accomplish in 2 minutes. Story 40. If your wife is out all day and you want to relax and play video games for 10 hours, do 15 minutes of housework during the day, and she will come home and be happy you were productive. Story 41. If she is doing housework, I will also do housework. If she is washing dishes, I will ask if she wants me to dry them. If she says no, I will find something to clean, tidy, or organize. Story 42. Always offer to do little things. If you are going to the store, ask if she needs you to pick anything up. If you are making yourself a cup of coffee, ask if she wants one. If you are running to the kitchen, offer to bring back a snack. Always resolve your arguments before going to bed. Remember that even when you disagree, you are in this together. Work on your disagreements together, trying to figure out what is causing the disconnect without raising your voice. Never keep score for bills, expenses, income, or chores. If you see a task that needs to be done, do it. Kiss frequently, but also do things like kiss the back of her neck as you pass. Do not make it sexual. Just a quick gesture to show you love her. Story 43. Been married for 5 years and together for 8. I emphasize that quality communication from both sides creates an effective team. The fights, arguments, tough situations, financial stress, and intimate problems we have faced have been managed together solely because we focus on communicating. That is the key. Both partners want to be heard and validated, and so do you. Who doesn't enjoy a good debate when coming to a decision? Life as a married couple becomes much easier when we prioritize our communication. Story 44. Never underestimate the power of a little treat. Getting gas? Go get her a little treat. Groceries? Little treat. Wood for your project? Little treat. Story 45. You are a team of two, trying to find the best way to solve the problem before you. You are not one person in a sparring match against another. Story 46. I called a florist to buy flowers for our anniversary, and they contacted me the following year to ask if I wanted to send flowers again. Absolutely, and thanks for the reminder. They have my card on file, and I provided them with all my important dates. Now, they simply call to confirm, so I don't have to remember anything. Story 47. Paying for a house cleaner to clean the house twice a month was the best investment ever. We just have different definitions of what clean is. We argued a lot over it during the first year or two. The cost is $120 per cleaning, and since then we have had no arguments about it. They wash floors, vacuum, dust, and clean bathrooms thoroughly, including sinks and counters. It's worth every penny. I still have to tidy up before the cleaners arrive, but that is nothing in comparison. Story 48. If you cannot figure out what you did wrong or what is upsetting your partner, get them a snack. People often get cranky when they haven't eaten but do not notice. Additionally, everyone enjoys a snack. Story 49. Here is my personal opinion. 1. Don't be a victim. Be flexible in your role within your relationship. Take personal accountability for every task you and your partner need to accomplish. You are a team. I work in an environment that is predominantly composed of blue-collar men. The older men are experiencing divorce at an alarming rate. They are more likely to hold conservative views on relationships and often display negative attitudes toward their wives. Men who cannot take responsibility for their mistakes are nearly all divorced. It is important to mature and acknowledge your issues and errors. Men who contribute only by being providers often have poor relationships with their adult children. We each have roles in our relationships, but if your wife is struggling, step in and help. Take the children out of the house so your wife can relax. Many men want to assert their masculinity but refuse to assist with household tasks or contribute in any way beyond their personal responsibilities. My thoughts are based on both my experiences and observations of other men. I do not want to make this political, but men who adhere to red pill ideologies and ultra-conservative beliefs are facing challenges. An older coworker once told me that my wife would not respect me if she did not make my lunch. That man is divorced, and his children have cut off contact. Even conservative wives eventually tire of miserable, angry men. Story 50. Your marriage is more important than your siblings or your parents or any other extended family. We learned this while seeing a marriage therapist. This brought so much harmony to our marriage, and our families can take a back seat. Story 51. I know this isn't possible for most, but we bought a spa pool and it changed our relationship. 30 minutes to an hour spent sitting and talking without phones, just us chatting, relaxing, and getting on the same page. We did this most days, and it honestly made the biggest difference. It didn't mean we would sit and talk about the hard stuff, but it brought us back to when we first started dating. Just us. Story 52. Communicate clearly. Do not let things bottle up. Try being romantic from time to time. But remember, sometimes your wife just wants intimacy like you had early on. Story 53. This applies if you are texting. If you are arguing or the other person has put you in a bad mood, whatever you type, read it 3 times before sending it. 8 times out of 10, you will realize it may cause more issues. I have reached a point where I can think about something and mentally play out the conversation. I can often predict her response, and 9 times out of 10, I am correct about what she will say or reply. It is truly a gift. This ability has kept me out of trouble a few times and has also led to positive experiences. Story 54. My wife is a very special woman who doesn't fit any mold. I don't know if her unique approach would work with anyone else. She enjoys gentle back rubs. Story 55. When your wife tells you she is exhausted and needs you to make an effort, listen to her and make that effort. We often perceive these comments as nagging or annoying, but most of the time, they stem from a genuine need. Ignoring these concerns can lead to serious consequences, including divorce. Story 56. Tell other people the wonderful things you see in your partner, even when she is not in the room. You will feel much more affectionate and loving toward her the next time you are together. If you are together when you pay her those compliments to others, she will feel just as affectionate and loving toward you. We pay each other compliments all the time, but it is much stronger when we speak highly of one another to our friends and family. It has really strengthened our relationship. Learn how your partner talks to you. Since we all come from different backgrounds and experiences, we act and react in unique ways based on our upbringing. Take the time to understand the words, meanings, and intentions behind what your partner says and does. The better you get at knowing who your partner is and how they communicate with you, the fewer misunderstandings and conflicts you will have. Story 57. Small things like filling up his water bottle before he goes to the gym, running to the store for items he needs but forgot to buy, setting out spices and condiments he likes to add to his meals, bringing home small snacks from work, random hugs and kisses throughout the day and night, and doing house chores before they get out of control are what my husband and I find make us really appreciate each other. It's always the small things for me. Story 58. Ask what's wrong randomly from time to time. This, combined with the instances when I can tell she's upset about something, leads her to believe I can read her mind because she forgets all the times I ask and there is actually nothing wrong. Story 59. Accept the ebbs and flows. It is not realistic to expect the magic to stay around all the time, and that is okay. Story 60. The fact that most men can be frustrating, but showing her respect and love makes me seem like a good husband. My wife recently started wearing hearing aids occasionally. One day, out of annoyance, she got her hair cut short to better manage it. Her coworkers were shocked that she made such a significant change without discussing it with me first. It's her hair. It's not my business. The funny thing is, I did something thoughtful in relation to that. She casually mentioned that her ears get cold now. I picked out a few cute earmuffs. I had to ask the kids since I know nothing about fashion, and had them delivered as a surprise. I think that was a nice husband gesture. Story 61. Sometimes the best way to have a wonderful time in the bedroom is to effectively manage time in the kitchen. Story 62. No passive aggression. Just stop that behavior and talk about how you are feeling before it becomes real anger or resentment. Story 63. My father is incredibly forgetful. He always has been. He keeps a small stash of gifts for my mother in case he forgets an anniversary or other occasion. They are all non-perishable items that she collects or relates to one of her interests. Whenever they are out and about, if she really likes something, he will secretly buy it and sneak it home for his present stash. It has saved him on numerous occasions. It is their 48th wedding anniversary this year. Story 64. Every time my wife asks if I am sure about something, I have learned to just do what she wants me to do. If it does not end up being necessary, who cares? And if it does, I am covered. Story 65. When we disagree on a choice we are making together, and neither of us is convincing the other that our choice is the better one, we ask this question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important is this to you? Typically, it is more important to one of us, and we go with that person's choice. So far, this approach has gone smoothly and saved us a lot of headaches. Additionally, we are two people who do not feel the need to inflate the importance we attach to our preferences in order to get our way, which also contributes to our success. Story 66. Tell her she is attractive. Be intimate with her frequently. Communicate. It's okay to feel angry and express it, but not in front of others. Do not hold on to anger. Get over it and move on. Do not let small things linger. This is a general perspective. Some individuals may have serious issues that are more challenging to overcome. Story 67. 1. Love each other, even during times when you don't like each other. Always be kind. Give each other space to pursue your own interests. Spend time doing things together. Seek each other's advice and listen attentively. Never lie. Be each other's biggest supporter. Share her accomplishments with others proudly. Put your partner's needs before your own. 10. Seriously, never lie or betray one another. Trust is everything. Story 68. If she is expressing concerns, you are the problem. Listen to her. Address her complaints. Acknowledge your shortcomings, and express a desire to make her happy. A little validation does wonders, but actually fixing the issue brings peace. Story 69. Be kind. Don't use their words against them. Don't say you told them so. They will stop opening up. It almost happened to me. It doesn't matter if you think you are right. At the same time, it's okay to listen without offering a solution or fix. Sometimes they just want you to commiserate. Story 70. Invest in their hobbies. If she wants a printing press for t-shirts, then buy her the press, let her design the room and help get it done. Now you can work on your race cars while she is managing her Etsy shop and local event shirts, and everyone is happy. Many marriages fail because one partner turns the other into their hobby. This leads to remarks like, grown men shouldn't play video games, or, you can't go out with your girlfriends tonight, spoken by those who have made their partner their hobby. Story 71. Know which battles to fight and when to compromise. Recognize when your partner is feeling irritable and either diffuse the situation or give them space. Give each other room outside of the relationship. Engaging in activities like golf or horseback riding can be healthy and liberating. Story 72. When she starts telling you about a problem with your friends, coworkers, family, or anything else, ask her, is this a problem you want my help with, or do you just want me to listen? Story 73. When selecting a Valentine's Day card, choose two. One card you will purchase and give, and one card you will photograph to copy the words for your inscription in the card you are presenting. Feel free to add your own thoughts as well. This can help you get started. Story 74. Keep a document on your phone with all the food and drinks from her favorite places. This way, you can surprise her with her preferred choices. Story 75. My father would say to just buy her whatever she wants, whenever she wants, but they hate each other, so I don't know. Story 76. Kiss them with intense passion, hands on their cheeks, then pull away mid-kiss, leaving them wanting more and encouraging them to chase you. Story 77. No husband has ever been murdered by his wife while he is doing the dishes. I have heard it said that way. Story 78. 50-50 does not exist. I notice a hyperfixation that everything needs to be divided equally. Certainly a recipe for disaster. Some days you'll need to be the 20% to their 80%. Some days you'll need them to be your 80% because that particular day you feel like a 20%. Sometimes you both are at 40% and you need each other to build each other back up. How you handle these metrics will make or break your relationship. Also, my favorite saying is, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Don't forget to fill your cup after you pour into everyone in your life, including your significant other. Go to the gym, play video games, or spend time outside. Your identity transcends beyond just being a partner. Thank you for reading. Story 79. Your kids exist because of you. You don't exist because of your kids. I don't particularly like Steve Harvey, but he made a valid point on his show. When you get married or start dating seriously, you form a circle with your hands, and only the two of you should be in that circle. Nobody else, not even kids, should be in that circle. Your priority is always your partner over your kids. Kids come second and parents come third. Many people damage their relationships by prioritizing their kids over their marriage. Story 80. If you wake up feeling grumpy, inform your wife. Let her know that you are feeling short-tempered and irritable, but that it has nothing to do with her. I find that when both parties communicate this when needed, it helps. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.